Okay, hello everybody. In this video I'm going to show you how to fill in a W-8BEN-E in Google for YouTube ad revenue. So you might get an email here. I got one recently. It said your tax information expires on the 31st of December. So when you apply for ad revenue for the first time, you will have to fill out one of these forms if you are not a US resident. And after a few years, the form will expire, and that's what has happened to me here. So I've clicked on update tax info, and then it's taken me into my YouTube account. So we've ended up here. You can see here I had a previous form that was approved, and it has or will expire on the 31st of December, and it says I'll need to submit a new tax form. So what I do, I click on start new form. You have to put in your credentials. First screen here, it asks you if you are an entity or a business. I'm operating as a business, I'm an entity, I'm not an individual. I'm not operating as a doing business as, I'm operating directly under the company name, so I'm not going to tick this box. So I'll go next. Is your entity incorporated in the US? No. Based on your previous selected answers, a W-8 form is needed. So W-8BEN-E, this form is most commonly used for US non-business entities who also want to claim tax treaty benefits. And I saw from the previous screen before I went to start the new form that I did have a W-8BEN-E in place. So I'm pretty sure that's the correct option, and I will click start the form. Now a quick disclaimer here, guys, I'm not giving out tax advice here. Of course, everyone's business is not necessarily going to be submitting this Google form in the way that I am doing it. You might be registered in a different country, you might be operating as an individual. There's a whole lot of variables that come into play. What I'm simply doing here is just showing you how I did it, and this may give you a few hints about how to go about filling it out for yourself. Now, if you do want to have someone look at this in finer detail for you, we are accountants here at Q Training. We're Australian accountants, but we can navigate these forms on an international level as well. So if you want someone to help you fill out your W-8BEN-E, get in contact with us over at qtraining.net.au. So I've got the name of the company here. We can see we've got a warning. It's popped up in red. It doesn't like the full stops after the Pty Ltd, so I'm going to get rid of them. A region of incorporation. This business is incorporated in Australia. Entity type. It's a corporation. Our local tax file number. We don't have a US EIN number. We'll click next. Now it's asking us for our permanent address. So we'll put in our address here. Our mailing address is different. So there we go. Our physical address, which they call permanent resident address, and our mailing address. Next. So I'll just check that everything is correct here. Now this is where it starts to get a bit more technical. Are you claiming a reduced rate of withholding under a tax treaty? There's information here. So if you are a tax treaty country, or if the country where you are a resident has a tax treaty with the US, you may be eligible for lower withholding tax rates. And Australia does have a tax treaty, so I will say yes, I am eligible for a reduced withholding rate. If you don't, you may be withheld up to 30% tax. So if you can avoid that, that's good. But of course, everyone's situation is different. Resident of a country within the meaning of the income tax treaty with the US, yes, and that country is Australia. Derives the income, we'll come back to this part here. We're going to move down to the special rates and conditions. This is where you put in the rate of withholding. So when you click on the drop down, you only get one choice, so you can click on that, and I'm selecting the reduced treaty rate, 5%. It says, as a tax resident of the identified tax treaty section, the beneficial owner meets the required terms of the treaty, and does not earn other copyright income attributable to permanent establishment in the US. The permanent establishment in the US means you have physical presence there, like an office, for example. We do not have that, so I satisfy that quite easily. Services or other business income. Again, we only get one option for the article and paragraph. This is a reference to the tax treaty, and you can go have a look at this in the tax treaty as well. They're publicly available documents. Withholding rate, we'll select 0, reduced treaty rate. Similar question here. They're asking us about if we have permanent establishment in the US, which we do not. Motion picture and TV royalties. Again, only one option for the Article 12 there. And we're going to select the lowest rate, reduced treaty rate 5%. And we do not have permanent establishment in the US. Now, if we go click next, nothing will happen because we have to put some information up here. So we're going to click this box here. Derives the item of income for which the treaty benefits are claimed, and if applicable, meets the requirements of the treaty provision dealing with limitation of benefits. So there's a bunch of options here. And this is where it can get a bit confusing. And just for a bit of background, this is like an online version, or it is an online version of the W-8BEN-E as it relates to Google AdSense. The actual proper W-8BEN-E form is available online. Just type it into Google, W-8BEN-E, and it's going to pop up. And here it is. This is the old paper form. For example, if you're buying shares in overseas investments, some of these institutions still do send out this old paper form. So it's here. It gives you a bit more detail if you want to look into things as well. You can also find instructions for the W-8BEN-E. And we're going to draw on that now because this is quite interesting. It's a big document, it's 20 pages, but probably some pretty tough reading, but it's you're not going to, most of the parts, most of the sections of the 8BEN-E, you can see there's many sections down here, 10, 12, 15, and so on. Most of them will not be applicable. So here I found the section that this relates to in Google. And this is part 3, I believe, claim of tax treaty benefits, this section here. And when it's got the drop down list for the limitation of benefits, company, favourable government, other, and so on, you've got all that down here. So the beneficial owner derives income, limitation of benefits. The following are types of limitation of benefits provisions that may be included in the applicable tax treaty. Check one only. So for most people, they will choose one of these company options. A lot of these are pretty easy to rule out. So let's find a bit more information on the instructions about which one of these ones might be eligible. Because it's going to be one of, in my case, it'll be one of these companies. There's these 3 company options here. So let's go over to the instructions for part 3. And you can see we got some more information here for the company that meets the ownership and base erosion test. That's the first item here. This test generally requires more than 50% of the vote and value of the company's shares to be owned directly or indirectly by individuals, governments, blah, 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 that are resident in the same country as the company. Okay, we can satisfy that. As long as all companies in the chain of ownership are resident in the same country of residence, and less than 50% of the company's gross income is accrued or paid directly or indirectly to persons who would not be good shareholders for the purposes of the ownership test, then you will satisfy it as well. So that's the first item. The second item there, company that meets the derivative benefits test, that's this one here. And as you can see, so you get a bit more information here that you don't get on the Google form. It says this test is generally limited to USMCA, EU, EEA country treaties. So I don't think that's me in my case, but it might be you, especially if you are a European country. The third option, company with an item of income that meets active trade or business test. That's this one here. This test generally requires that the company be engaged in active trade or business in its country of residence, that its activities in that country be substantial in relation to its US activities. If the payer is a related party and the income is derived in connection to or incidental to that trade or business. So basically they're talking about here, if you have operations in the US, your operations in your country of residence, for example Australia, have to be substantial in relation to its US activities. I don't have any US activities, so I don't think that's a good selection for me. So for us, we're going to go with that first option. Company meets the ownership and base erosion test. So we'll come back over to the Google form and we'll find here company that meets the ownership and base erosion test. So we'll select that. And now we'll hit next again and see if it accepts the form. It has. Next question. Activities and services performed in the US. Has your company performed any activities and services for Google within US, or do they expect to in the future? We don't do any services in the US, so we'll click no. And there's a certification box here. I certify that the services provided to Google or its affiliates will be performed solely outside the US, and that any labor capital used to provide such services will be physically located outside the US. That is true. We will click next. And then we have an option here to go paperless or to get documents by mail. We're going to go paperless and we'll click next. It's basically a consent here, or consent to go paperless. But what else are they talking about? So Google may send a year-end tax form to you for the IRS. This depends on the type of tax form you have submitted. Yeah, we're going to go paperless. And we'll click next. Document preview. This is how your document will be generated based on your provided information. If you selected multiple income types, more than one form will be generated. Documents are generated in English. So here we can see the cover sheet of the physical W-8BEN-E form that we're looking at here. And there's a couple of sections to it. And if you click on one of them, you can actually see the form filled out and save a copy for yourself, which would not be a bad idea actually. So you can see here what we've done. We're a corporation, we're not a disregarded entity, that's a US thing. Our address, tax file number, beneficial owner is a resident of Australia. And here's what we spent a bit of time on. It gives a bit more context to it. So it says the beneficial owner derives the item of income for which the treaty benefits are claimed, and if applicable, meets the requirements of the treaty provision dealing with limitation of benefits. The following are types of limitation of benefits provisions that may be included in an applicable tax treaty. And we are the company that meets the erosion and base erosion test. And it's got the tax rates in there, 0% for the services option. So we're going to open all of these up so I can save them if I need to refer back to them in the future. And I confirm that I've reviewed the tax documents. To my knowledge, it is true and correct and complete. We're going to click next. Certify and sign. Under penalties of perjury, I declare that I've examined the information of this form. To my knowledge, it is true and correct. Yes, we are not a US person. The beneficial owner is the company, not effectively connected to business in the US. Yeah, so I was just going over what we've already done. Unchanged status affidavit. This tax form will be applied to prior payments by providing the following optional certification. I certify under penalties perjury, the information and representations in this tax form have not changed and remain true, correct, and complete from the entered year to the present time, except as described below. Now, I'm not going to click this. Let's have a bit more of a look at this information box here. An affidavit of unchanged status certifies that the information on the tax form is accurate as of a specific past date. Google collects this affidavit for tax forms that are provided after an account has already been created to pay. The affidavit allows Google to apply the correct withholding rate. So I don't necessarily want to go back and change stuff that's been done in the past. I'm confident it was done correctly, so I'm just going to leave that. And in our signature here, I acknowledge that I'm signing the form above and accompanying affidavit of unchanged status if applicable. They might force us to tick it. We're going to find out in a second. The Internal Revenue Service does not require your consent, blah, 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 to establish your status as a non-US person. My full legal name. Here I'm entering my personal name, not the entity name. It's essentially a signature field. So entering my full name, including my middle name, and we're going to try and submit that. And here we go. Your tax info has been accepted. So yes, we did not have to tick that affidavit box to make any changes into the past. So that's good. And simple as that. So what else have we got here? Now we can see it expires on 31st of December 2028. So it's given us another 3 years. We've got 5% withholding on motion picture and TV, 5% withholding on copyright, 0% withholding on services. So it's basically the same as what we had before, which is exactly what we were doing. Alright, so that's done, guys. Status approved to 2028. I hope you learned something here. The W-8BEN forms can be quite tricky. There is some good information around if you're prepared to take your time with it. If not, we can help you to do it on your behalf. It's worth mentioning again that I don't want you to go in and just do exactly what we did. Every business, every individual is different. You might be operating as a company or a trust or an individual. You might be a tax resident of a country that has a treaty, that doesn't have a treaty. There's all kinds of things that come into it. So this was just a bit of a guide on how to look at it, how to research it, and to sort of work your way through it. So hopefully that helped to do that. We'll sign off now. Catch you later.